Today I'm going to show you how to capture sharp, detailed photos of the moon using an entry-level camera and a basic zoom lens. This is one of the easiest ways to get started with astrophotography, and you can do it right from your own backyard. Start by putting your camera on the tripod and pointing it towards the moon. Then turn on live view and center the moon on the screen. If you have a zoom lens, it helps to start with your lens at the lowest focal length or more zoomed out. Once you have the camera in position, turn your lens to zoom in to the maximum focal length. That gives you the most magnification and the best details of the moon. Set your lens to the infinity mark if you have one. If you don't, let your camera try to autofocus on the moon by half pressing the shutter. Then turn your lens to manual focus and make sure image stabilization is turned off. Now press the button to zoom in live view to 5 or 10 times magnification. This button usually has a little magnifying glass icon next to it, but if you aren't sure how to do this on your camera, check the camera manual or Google. Fine-tune your focus by adjusting the focus ring. With telephoto lenses, even a small adjustment makes a big difference. So take your time and turn the focus ring slowly until the craters look crisp. For settings, I recommend shooting in manual mode. Keep your ISO between 100 and 400 for cleanest results. And use an aperture between f8 and f11. Start with a shutter speed around 1/60th of a second. You want to be able to see details on the moon, so you may need to make adjustments to these settings depending on how bright the moon is. If it's not a full moon and you need more light, you can raise the shutter speed for a longer exposure time. But I don't recommend going past 1/4 of a second exposure time, especially with a zoom lens. If the moon is too bright, decrease the shutter speed. But remember, a lot of shutter speeds are fractions of a second, so the speeds with higher numbers on the bottom of the fraction are actually shorter. Make sure to use the 2-second timer or an intervalometer to avoid camera shake. Once you dial in your focus, take a test shot and zoom in to make sure the details look sharp. If the moon looks soft, simply adjust your focus ring again and retake the shot. With the right settings, you can get surprisingly detailed moon images with a camera and a simple zoom lens. After you've captured a few good frames, you can bring them into Lightroom or your favorite editing program. A little contrast, clarity, and sharpening will make the crater details stand out beautifully. Let me show you my quick edit for these images. We want to see more contrast in the moon, so I'm going to lower the contrast. I'm also going to lower the highlights because it's just a little bit bright. I'm going to bring down the shadows to give those darker areas of the moon more contrast. Also, we'll bring those whites down a little bit, and we're going to lower the black point to give us a lot more dark detail. I'm going to add a little texture and some clarity, and I'm going to add some dehaze, and that's going to help with the contrast. I'll do a little vibrance and saturation, even though there's not much color. I'm going to scroll down here, increase the sharpening slightly, and I'm going to add remove chromatic aberration and enable profile corrections. And it looks like it got my lens. If not, you can use the drop-down menus. Now I'm going to crop this, zoom in a little bit. For Instagram, I want to use a 4:3 vertical crop. I want an interesting composition. I'm not going to put it there in the middle. So according to the rule of thirds, I'm going to put it kind of down in the bottom left-hand corner. Moon photography is a great way to build confidence with your camera and learn the basics of astrophotography. If you want more tutorials like this, make sure to subscribe. And check the description for gear links and to download my free Milky Way Quick Start Guide. Until next time, clear skies and take care.